These are the parts that I designed in Fusion 360. These parts here are the 3D printed parts. They're very simple. The motor mount, base plate, both the steering knuckles, and the cross member. Here's a view of the somewhat completed assembly. I've quickly modeled the wheels, motor, and servo. It's not completely accurate, but it's just a representation of what it's like. I don't have the receiver here or the battery. On this side, I've added the charging port and the on and off switch. Turning it into different colors just so you can see it a little bit more clearly of the different components. Here are the 3D printed parts. This is a Subaru Impreza STI model, and it was requested by one of the subscribers. So let's see if we can turn it into an RC. We won't need a post anymore, so we can cut those and grind them down flush. Now we just need to grind down the post, and this lip here will need to be grounded down as well. And once that's done, we can clear the underneath of the fender well here, so we can have enough steering clearance. So now that I've printed the chassis, the steering knuckles, and the rear motor mount, along with the front cross member, all there needs to be done now is to clean things up, like taking out the support here and sanding it down smooth and drilling the holes here. And so the windows will actually need to be cut. I need to cut each individual window here, so that will eliminate this center section here in order to create more room for me. I've already gone and super glued the front grille in and also the exhaust. I've decided to drill a single hole only for the rear bumper, so I can put in a red LED for a rear bumper light, and these will be for fog lights. The thing about this diecast, this model here, there's a slight curve to it, so I had to add a little bit of meat on this chassis here. I had to add a little bit of meat on the side here, so when I used the circular cutter, I could just grind it down, shave it down just a little bit so I could fit this in here. Now all that's left is to push the music wire through, just like how I have here for the front. There's two small little holes that's drilled relatively close to the center, and avoiding getting into these through holes here. Just like that. Now don't glue them in place yet. Leave them loose like that. And so when you actually test fit the piece onto the car itself, you have room to adjust back and forth or forward and backwards. So the wheels for the rear end will fit, and for the front wheels so it could fit. So don't glue them in place yet. This is a wiring diagram of how I wire things up to the receiver. Okay, now that everything's in place, I haven't really put everything as far as gluing everything down. I left these loose. I left this back plate loose so I could slide it back and forth to adjust the length of the wheels. Same thing with the front. So now we can do a test fit to see where we want to put the wheels. For the front wheels, I think that would be perfect right there. Now what I'm gonna do is put a small drop of super glue right here in the front, right here in the back, just so the cross member won't slide up and down on the music wire. Now that everything's in place, I have the steering linkage, also the cross member connector here, or the knuckle connector here. Everything seems to be in place. Let's hook up the battery to test the controls.